this is going to be a mixture of, y'all must have forgot on both ends. Because first off, Michael Johnson notoriously slept on. If you look at hit lists, he's got one of the biggest, most impactful, talented, skilled hit list that you've probably ever come across. Even though there's a lot of losses in there, it doesn't matter. He had the balls to step up and fight these guys. And then you got Diego Ferreira, who's arguably one of the greatest first-round fighters you've ever seen in the history of the sport. And I mean that in the sense of this dude gets on your butt, and he gets on your butt quickly. Pause. That even sounded weird. I tried to PG myself, and it even sounded weirder. I shouldn't have said that. Anyways, listen, man. Striker versus grappler, it'd be easy to really just nail it down that way, man. Ferreira, he'll sit there, swing and bang with you, and he'll sit down and he'll go start working the jiu-jitsu. But Michael Johnson, bro, we just saw it against D1 Jacasey in the last fight. Sprawl and brawl, baby. Let's go. I have to ask you off of the bat here, man. Do you think if Diego Ferreira takes Michael Johnson down, does he get back up?
Yes, I do think Michael Johnson gets back up, Derek. Michael Johnson has been a one of the few longtime fighters that still continuously makes improvements, whether it's incremental, or exaggerated. Michael Johnson is always down to fight, always a dog, and even when he's the underdog, he's still got that dog in him. What I do think is going to happen though, if Ferreira is able to get into the ground, it's that second takedown, that third takedown, because Ferreira is relentless, and that is one of his biggest pros as well as his biggest cons. Because you want to talk about a gas tank issue, Ferreira, there's even times where he'll look in his fight and just look at his coach like, I don't want to do that. This seems very hard. I'm good, and that's what worries me, because if Michael Johnson can rely on the experience, on the veteranship, on that mentality, he's an absolute dog in this fight. I mean, you're looking at the hit list right now, but if you go down, this is Michael Johnson, correct?
It's Michael Johnson.
He has a TKO on Dustin Poirier, so this guy can get it done in a multitude of ways. That was his second to last TKO right there in 2016, long time ago. You see, he goes on a little bit of a stretch, but if you just look at this dude's hit list, absolutely amazing. Michael Johnson, what worries me most, or for Fialio's camp, Michael Johnson has very, very fast hands. Do you see another route to victory besides piecing Ferreira up in the first round and then keeping it going second, just staying on your feet and really lining the ones and twos up, Derek? What do you think?
You asking me if I see another method aside from the tried and true Michael Johnson method? No, I don't see no other method. I think that's it. I think that stay on the feet, sprawl and brawl, baby. Fast hands, put him on his butt. With your hands, with your fists. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing. I know I just showed you guys this, but I'm going to say it again. Name another dude who has sit here, who has a win over Tony Ferguson, who has a win over Gleason Tebow, Joe Lauzon, Melvin Gilliard, Edson Barbosa, Dustin Poirier, Andre Fili, Artem Lobov. He lost to these guys, but he also fought the best of the best. Benny Dariush, Nate Diaz, Habib Nurmagomedov, Justin Gaethje, hurt Justin Gaethje. The Damage, Darren Elkins, Josh Emmett, Stevie Ray, Jamie Malarkey. I mean, must I go on? He even fought Miles Jury back in the day, man. That's an old name people haven't heard about in a while. Let me see. Is there anybody else James Krause? I mean, come on, bro. The point that I'm trying to make here is that if you're talking about a dude who is tried and true, who talk about experience, he's like Angela Hill, but just like older. You know what I mean? Like even more experienced than Angela Hill. Michael Johnson has been doing this for a long time. So is Diego Ferreira. But here's the one big key that I need to mention to you that Michael Johnson revealed to the world. These two were actually supposed to fight not too long ago, man. Let's not forget that. And the fight never fell through. It never ended up happening. And the reason why, and this was approximately, you're not going to see it on Tapology if you look it up, but this was approximately 8 weeks ago, 10 weeks ago, something like that. And it was going to be a short notice. Michael Johnson stepping up on 3 weeks for Diego Ferreira when his last opponent didn't end up working out, right? And when Diego Ferreira, supposedly, according to Michael Johnson, was offered the fight, he turned it down. And he said, I need more time if I'm going to fight Michael Johnson. So that puts a little bit of, right? Because if you look at Diego Ferreira's last fight, it was actually supposed to be Jakar Close last 7:30. 7:37. What is that month? July? There we go. July? Yeah, there we go. Back in July. So the point is, man, supposed to step in 3 weeks notice, ended up needing more time to fight Michael Johnson. That gives me pause. On top of that, the last fight that Diego Ferreira has was back in 2021 where he lost to Mateusz Gamrot, right? Or Gamrot, excuse me. I know we like to throw a little finesse on there. But, the point stands, man. You have a layoff by Ferreira. You got a game Michael Johnson, who's still active, OG, beating up the young guys, fighting at Kill Cliff. Let's not mention that. That's a good gym. I mean, the dominoes are in favor of Michael Johnson, I feel like, but I think the bigger name and the more hyped up person right now is probably Diego Ferreira, even with the layoff. What do you think?
I could see where you're coming from. And I mean, all the intangibles have been seen by Michael Johnson before. They have not really been time tested. I mean, to an extent for Diego Ferreira, he has seen a lot of them as well, fought a lot of really hard matches, but Michael Johnson's seen it all, done it all. Like you're right. Like you said, Derek, training at Kill Cliff, this guy is still with killers day in and day out. Iron sharpens iron. We've seen what he does. Um, Man, it's this. I keep this is actually a very hard one because I agree. Michael Johnson is one not to sleep on, but can he withstand the storm that is going to be coming out of the Fajeda camp? Can he cover up, shell up, get what he needs to do, get Fajeda to the ground, survive on the ground, make him stay at distance, whatever he needs to do in that first round? Because if he gets out of the first round, or at least if he provides a very hard first round and then he's able to get out, I feel like the Fajeda really starts to suffer. Or is Fajeda going to come out very calm, cool, collected? I don't see that, but at least a little bit more patient, because you're right. When you said that Michael Johnson let all the air out, where Fajeda wanted to, need a little bit more time. I think Fajeda respects Michael
Hmm.
Johnson right here. That's why he's like, oh, okay, I might come out a little bit different in this game. This boy can piece me up on the feet. I can't just leave my head on the center line and swing for the fences. So will we see a game plan of Fajeda? Will that make a difference? What do you think?
Well, so this is the thing. It's like on one hand, you bought yourself more time because you're taking your competitor seriously, right? On the other hand, you bought your opponent more time. So now they're like, I was already ready. That was your best shot of winning. 3 weeks notice, short notice. Now you gave me a full 10-week training. Oh shit, you know what I mean? So listen, at the end of the day, it's all speculation at this point. We'll see come Saturday night. I like Michael Johnson here, and I think it's as simple as this, man. Be fast, be crisp, be first, and if Diego Ferreira wants to be the wild man, catch him with the counter and put him away. However, I do think Diego Ferreira is skilled enough as a grappling practitioner to be able to save himself with a good scramble and creating, removing distance, closing the distance, and holding his opponent to be able to survive to where Michael Johnson squeaks out what I think will be potentially a controversial, potentially a very close decision. I think give it to Michael Johnson, though. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I see it. How do you see it?
If record proves anything, Derek, we at least need one controversial card or fight per card right here, and Michael Johnson could be the dog to do it. I personally am going with the pressure, the pace, the finesse, or lack of finesse, if you will, but just brawling style of Diego Fajeda. I'm actually going to go with the submission. I'm going round two. I think we're going to see a bit of a sprawling seminar, if you will, because Michael Johnson is no slouch on the ground, but it's that fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth attempt from Diego Fajeda that's going to give him success.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. That is your main card for UFC Vegas 73.